Hello and welcome to a new video. Today we're going to take a look at a legend team here with the Zangoose. This team was built from Fpsticks, who hit legend with this. I actually wasn't even sure if he was still playing the game. He stopped doing content creation as far as I know because he got an actual job, which is definitely a smarter choice than going for YouTube and stuff like this because it's not really consistent. But still, here we're going to take a look at a team with the Zangoose as a Sazop and the Lickitung in the back, while having the Cresselia in the lead. A fairly expensive team, I guess, because Cresselia is kinda rare to be seen in general. Not a lot of people do have this Pokemon available. There were actually, I think, 2 times where you could have got this Pokemon from quests, as far as I know. But you can also just like trade with a friend that has like a low friendship level, and you can actually trade one from raids as well to get one. So it's definitely an achievable Pokemon. You're going to have the Lickitung in the back. I feel like you don't even always have to have the Lickitung there. Something like a Double would be a great replacement, or something like a Vigoroth as well. But otherwise, we're going to have the Sazop here of the Zangoose, and you kind of want to keep the shields around for the Zangoose. This is what you're going to see here already. Not the Zangoose that I wanted to run. This is a Zangoose that also has exactly 1500 CP, but it has just Dig as a charge move. And it actually came in clutch. I couldn't believe it, honestly. Of course, now I have the actual one in there, which I, was not able to put in for the first game there. I was like, oh wait, no, this is not the Zangoose that I wanted to have, and it was a single move Dig variant with horrific IVs as well, which is even funnier. But yeah, now we have the actual Zangoose with the correct CP as well. It's also 1500, so I got kind of confused there. I guess I just went for CP. And this is what happens if you don't double check the moves on the Pokemon. So yeah, still Dig variant of this Pokemon seemed to work out fairly well. But of course, this is not what we're going to run. We're going to run Close Combat and Night Slash here, which is the normal combination for this Pokemon. In general, Zangoose really lives from its move pool. This Pokemon itself has a pretty horrific stats in general. It's a very attack-weighted Pokemon. It cannot take a hit at all, but the moveset is basically perfect. You have like the best fast move in the game with Shadow Claw. You have a very good fast charge move where you can even get a double boost with it, with the Night Slash, which gives you nice coverage. And then you're still going to have the Close Combat, which is just going to nuke a lot of opponents fairly hard. So this Pokemon itself is a really cool pick for this current meta here right now. And honestly, I enjoyed this team quite a bit here, as they're going to have now the Kaiwei against us here. And one of those Pokemon, for example, where the Zangoose will be able to do a ton of damage against it. Here we're going to see the Surf coming through from the Lantern. I knew it was just a Surf. I can go ahead and go for the Close Combat, and we will be able to now knock them out, and we're gonna get out the Kaiwei, where they're going to just forfeit the game. Let's take a look at the next game. I climbed quite a bit with this team here. Very cool team to use. Horrific detours though. Frost is in the lead. In comes now the Double. And honestly, every single time, I have no idea why, but look at this. This could have been in Close Combat that literally just one-shot the opponent, but no. We're going to let this move go through there, and this is, it just, I don't know. Like, the likelihood of it being Close Combat is like so higher. Like, as a Double user, I would always shield, because if it is a Close Combat, your Double literally is gone. Like, it definitely one-shots a Double. So, a very risky play that I guess turned out fairly well for the opponent, but yeah, one thing for this team is it definitely struggles against Double in general. And if you lose lead already, this is maybe not the best circumstances for a successful game. But we will find out shortly here, so you're going to now have a Quagsire against us. And of course, you're going to have 2 times coverage for the Grass move here on this team, with both the Grass Knot on our Cresselia as well as the Power Whip on our Lickitung. And as you're going to see here right now, this Power Whip is going to come in clutch right now, because the opponent didn't expect me to go straight for it here, and we can knock them out. Now in comes the Frostess. Remember, we have 2 moves stored onto our Cresselia here, which is going to be really nice, especially as the opponent going to be forced to throw a charge move here. Like this, the opponent has now 55 energy left. We're gonna get a fast move through there for them, but there's no way in hell that they're going to be able to get back to 90 energy in time through 2 charge moves and win this game. So I will be able to even reach the Moonblast here, and while we kinda got walled there and we're kinda unlucky, we were still able to flip this game. Speaking of flipping here, I hope that I can flip the switch advantage here against the opponent, because the lead against Lickitung was not really ideal. The matchup for Zangoose here is actually fairly decent. We can go for 1 Close Combat, and you see already, boom, this does a ton of damage, and we can go ahead and go for a Night Slash, which should hopefully knock them out. but they survive with 1 HP. But because I kind of want to realign with this team here, I'm going to use a shield. While it does not really make too much sense in the beginning, it hopefully does make sense later on. Another issue for this team might be Charizard. This is a Pokemon that I kind of want to try out myself again, as well as this Pokemon seems to be super strong in the current meta, because there are not really a lot of water types around really. There's Lantern, but that's basically it. And here we're going to be able to just go ahead and go for some nice damage with the Body Slam, but gonna get, of course, the shield here. And I'm going to try to catch a move. Didn't work out, as they can go for another charge move here, but I expect them to have the the Frosties in the back here. That's why I swapped out here, because there was no real reason for them to stay in otherwise. So here we are now going to have a matchup where there is nearly no way of me winning this game anymore. There's only one chance if the opponent was not in the charge move yet after swapping out from the Cresselia, which I highly doubt, because they went for 3 fast moves and they basically only need like 1 or 2 to have the Dragon Claw. And I feel like they had some energy prior. So this is my only play here. I tried to go for double Body Slam, but sadly we're going to lose this game here on a Team Pita against the Charizard. Very difficult Pokemon to deal with for this team here. Charizard can be kinda tricky. Let's take a look at the next game. We're going to encounter here the Cresselia against the Medicham, another really good lead for us. And you're going to now get out the Frosters, and you're going to see me here not going straight for the Night Slash, because I'm fairly certain that a Night Slash doesn't knock them out from this range. So I'd rather go ahead and get all the energy in the world here, try to go for a Night Slash right now to knock them out. And yes, I'm a shield down, but I can realign my Pokemon as well as getting some damage onto them. But here I make a small mistake again, which is definitely on my part. I thought I can still get to the close combat, but I was not really expecting that they can knock me out that fast as well. Could have went already for the Night Slash, which would have put the opponent better in the farm down range for the Lickitung. As well, it would put into a range where you don't have to go for a Moonblast against them, but you would be able to just go ahead and go for the Grass Knot against them for the Cresselia. So this would definitely help us out. This was on my part there, definitely like worse played by me, could have played it better. But here we're going to now encounter the Charizard. This Pokemon going to go for another Blast Burn. He should be energy dry at this point of time as well. And they can go for 2 more fast moves. And now we see the 3rd fast move coming in. So now they're 4, now they're 5, now they have 6. They are 1 away from 1 Blast Burn. So this is going to be a little bit of a closer one, but I can still go for 1 Moonblast. And we see now they are at a Blast Burn, and I'm fairly certain that the Cresselia has enough bulk to survive it. And it does have enough bulk. Yes, the Grass Knot double resisted will be enough to knock them out, winning us this game here. Let's take a look at the next opponent. We're going to have Cresselia against Frosters. Horrific lead here. We're going to swap out again into our Zangoose, as in comes here the Machamp. They can go straight for the close combat. There's no reason for me not to do this here. And boom, goodbye Machamp and goodbye opponent, as I didn't expect that on. They are forfeiting this game, and we can move on to the next one. Cresselia in the lead. We have 2 answers for this Pokemon in the back, so we're going to swap out immediately and going to bait out the what's called the Medicham here. Medicham going to definitely appreciate this matchup, and they go for even a charge move here. So, while it's not really ideal, at least we're going to be able to get out the Medicham here, which is something that I really quite enjoy, because our Lickitung also doesn't really like it. But of course, the Lickitung would have liked this matchup a little bit more than our Zangoose. We will be able to go for a charge move here. I see me don't hitting all the bubbles there. I was just not looking on the screen, to be fair, which doesn't matter because they still knock them out. But at least now we're going to be able to go for another Moonblast here. And honestly, in hindsight, I most likely should have just kept the energy, because they're going to run a Regirock in the back. And also, it's an obvious shield here from the opponent, so I don't know why I really went for the big move there. I could have went for the Body Slam spam. But at this point of time, it's going to be a very tough one to still come back from. The opponent going to get to another charge move here, which is most likely going to be the Focus Blast. And they know that basically the Lickitung is the most scariest Pokemon for them here on my team. So they kind of definitely want to get rid of this Pokemon. I can catch a move here onto my Cresselia. This is a Focus Blast. It is not, it is a Stone Edge here, which is kind of sad, as they can now get some extra energy, swap out now into their own Cresselia, as they can go for the Moonblast and knock me out. So it's all down to the Lickitung. I have to leave this matchup basically with one, one Power Whip stored still, but the opponent is going to be able to get the debuff onto my attack with the Moonblast, which is going to now not allow me to farm them down here, which is really bad for me. This really hurts, because now I'm also in range for 1 Stone Edge, so I just have to hope that the opponent is not in a charge move yet, as obviously can go for one body slam, we can knock out the opponent, and they are not there yet, and we can now go for the power whip and knock out the Regirock here with our Lickitung. Lickitung is so strong in this meta right now as well. I can highly recommend you trying this Pokemon out, as you're going to encounter Deoxys defense in the lead. I expect them to have something like maybe double water ice or something in the back with Warrain, with Dugong. You could have some other ice-type Pokemon as well, like the Bomber Snow makes a lot of sense in the current meta. But let's take a look what they're going to actually run here. We're going to be able to go ahead and go for a Moonblast now. Should have went for the Moonblast here immediately, to be fair, as they go for the next Rock Slide. I can try to get them super low here with this move as well. And I'm going to try to go ahead and swap out now into my Zangoose, trying to farm them down, but they're going to swap out instead. In comes now the Dragonair. I expect them to have most likely another dragon in the back. If you have one dragon in the back, you usually have two dragons in the back with this current meta around. But let's take a look at this one. You're gonna get both shields with the Zangoose against the Dragonair, which is really good for us. By the way, spoiler alert, I didn't get a single buff with Night Slash. And I still went fairly positive with this team, which is kind of funny to see. So like, I wasn't even lucky with this team. Like, I think if you get a buff with Night Slash, like Zangoose can literally sweep through teams on its own. But like this, of course, it's a little bit more tricky. And also, they're going to have a Dragonite here, where I should have swapped out fairly early and like earlier in general. Also, I made like literally everything worse here. Like, everything I did in this end matchup here was wrong. Literally nothing I did was something that you're supposed to do here. I should have just stayed in with the Lickitung, knocked out the Deoxys, still had enough energy to get to a Moonblast against the Dragonite and one-shot them. But no, I decided to go ahead and completely screw this endgame here, go for the boys. I'm now going to be able to get them fairly low, but they can knock me out. And this was all on me. Like, this was definitely on me. I would have been able to most likely win this game if I just played it better, but I didn't. So that's it for that one. Next up, well, you know already, you know the drill. We're gonna go ahead and go, of course, for the bait first. Because why not? Because the opponent going to still no shield, which is so wild for me, because honestly, one close combat is definitely going to one-shot them. And here we're going to see, of course, the shield when we're going to go for the close combat, which is not really ideal for us. They're going to undercharge, which is a smart decision, because we don't really have the best answers for double either, and they have a ton of energy stored. I'm going to shield up the first move, which is going to be luckily the payback, of course, but they can definitely go for another one here. The Moonblast won't have knocked them out anyway from this range, so like, don't even worry that I didn't throw immediately here. Going to overfarm by a little bit here, maybe a little bit too much as well, but I can go for the Moonblast now, and now it's going to one-shot the opponent. But in comes now the Dunsparce and also the Jellicent, which is both not really ideal for me. And I was super curious on who actually wins this matchup here. And honestly, I kind of want to take a look at this on the side as well, if there is a way to win this matchup as a Lickitung, because it is weird. The opponent does not have any stab move, we have a stab body slam. But the opponent has a fast move that generates energy a little bit faster than ours, but also going to be able to do a little bit more damage. So it's going to be a fairly close-ish matchup here, which is going to be interesting. We're going to see the drill run coming through. I'm going to swap out and I make a mistake here by going for the grass knot, because I expected the opponent to shield this move up here. They are, like, I went for the smaller move, but they're actually not going to shield this move up, allowing them to survive. I would have definitely knocked them out with a Moonblast, and this really kills me the game, because now the opponent can farm me down here, which they wouldn't have been able to do otherwise, because of the drill run damage, of course. And this literally destroys me the matchup here, so kind of sad. One mistake there again, that's going to cost me the game. But there's like the things anyway, which I would recommend you to take a look at as well. There are just like a lot of losses that you do are based on your own mistakes, not on like team comp or like, oh, that's kind of unfortunate or whatever. Like you have, or usually misplays happening to basically like do those losses. In this case here, for example, I just went for the wrong charge move. If I went for Moonblast, I most likely would have been able to win this game, or at least had a way better chance. And like recognizing your mistakes is like the thing that really helps you climbing up elo later on. And it's the thing that I really would recommend here. Like, if you want to try to climb up a rating, try to record your battles, try to see what mistakes you do, but don't make the mistake to underestimate Zangoose, of course. As you're going to see here right now, this is going to be a very cool feast here for the Zangoose, as we will be able to now knock out the Stunfisk, and also the Marowak is not going to have the best time there. That's going to be also it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed this one. Also, congrats still to Fpsticks for hitting Legend with this team, and I hope I see you in the next video. Bye bye.